Hello, and welcome back to my channel, Wellness and Motherhood, where I talk about all things pertaining to health, wellness, being a wife, being a mom, faith, just all sorts of things on this channel. Today, I will be talking about my journey to becoming a stay-at-home mom. I will do a part 2 to this video, giving some tips and advice on things to consider if you are thinking about becoming a stay-at-home mom. But basically, my journey started with, I got married, then we had our first daughter. I am a registered nurse. I haven't practiced in about a year now though, but after maternity leave, about 3 months I was on maternity leave and I went back and I just felt like I didn't really have the desire to be at work. Like it just like things just felt like they were just getting more and more difficult as she started like crawling and moving around. I was working night shift and then having to come home to her during the day, getting into things, and that became difficult. Being an ER nurse, there was a time where my breast milk supply had dipped because I didn't have time to pump while I was at work. I was just felt tired all the time, and it just didn't feel like things were working. I started to feel a lot of burnout. So then I decided to, I'm giving the fast forward version. Then I decided to go part time as a nurse, and then I discovered that that wasn't really the solution either. 2 days, it was only 2 days a week, but my husband was working Monday through Friday, and I was working Saturday and Sunday, and we were not really seeing each other. So I was like, okay, this really isn't working either. So then I went to PRN, which is as needed, and I was working 1 to 2 days a week. But then all my Saturdays were pretty much gone, and Sunday, I wanted to go to church. So I was like, okay, this isn't working. I'm like, maybe I need a career change. I didn't really want to put the kids in daycare. I had started to look into homeschooling and I wanted to homeschool them. I just don't like the idea of them being gone for, 5 days a week, 6, 7 hours a day. And then even if I had put them in daycare for 2 days a week, I just didn't really feel comfortable with letting them go. Them being so little, they can't tell me, what's going on. All sorts of crazy things happen in daycares these days. So I just didn't really feel comfortable, I'm like, I can watch them. I'm their mom. I don't need to send them out. And then the money that I would have, the difference wouldn't have really been that much if I just had stayed home. But we needed two incomes at the time. So I thought, what if I did a career change? And so I started to think, what was I more passionate about, which is like health and fitness. So I got my personal trainer certification, but then I decided not to practice as a personal trainer simply because when I was applying for jobs, I'm like, this is a huge pay cut. And then like, it just, I don't know, I just couldn't turn away from the money that I was making as a nurse. And then I could have built a business as a personal trainer down the road once I got experience. But I was like, I was just trying to figure out the hours. Like, when would I make that work and still, raise my family and tend to them the way that I want to? I just couldn't quite figure out how to fit my schedule around pausing because I thought I heard my baby crying. He is crying. Okay, I'm back. I think I was talking about personal trainer and how it just wasn't fitting well with my schedule. Like I just couldn't figure out how to plan. Like after my husband gets home from work, but then I'm like, that's kind of dinner time. And I'm like, weekends. I don't want to give up all my weekends. Like that's the reason I don't want to be a nurse. And so then I decided to. And again, this is me seeking and doing all this crazy career switching without really consulting God first. I was like, oh, realtors make good money, and I've seen some realtors that homeschool their kids, and they seem to have flexibility in their schedule. So I said, maybe I'll do that. So I got my realtor's license, and then I worked in that for a little bit in terms of like marketing and trying to build my business. But then we decided to move, and so I kind of put that to a halt. And then the move didn't really work out well. We were just kind of like all over the place. And finally, my husband and I said, we just need to just take a break from all the flip flopping we've been doing and really figure out what we want for our lives and really seek God in determining like what that path and what that journey looks like. And I personally feel like, for at least for me, I wasn't getting any real clarity until I started to really seek God first and really think about why I wanted to do certain things. I feel like God kept saying, be still. And so like I said, we moved back to our old house. We were trying to move to Virginia, and we ended up moving back to Maryland to just kind of regroup. And I feel like God was telling me, okay, what do you want? You want to ultimately be a stay-at-home mom. You just want to be a stay-at-home mom and make money also, which you can't make money not working. And so I feel like God was pushing me towards focusing on Him first, and then focusing on my husband second, and focusing on my kids third. And I feel like that's the natural order that God, placed upon humanity. And I feel like it's easy to divert from that as a woman trying to do my own thing. I want my own career. I want to build my own business. I want to make my own money. And I feel like God was saying, that's not what I called you to do. Like, what I called you to do is pulling on your heartstrings, but you're still trying to go this way. I'm pulling you left and you're trying to go right. And you're wondering why you're having so much clash. And so I feel like God was telling me, seek the kingdom of God first above all things. What do I say? What does my word say is your purpose here on this earth? And one of the first purposes that God has given a woman in Genesis is to be a helper to her husband. And so I was not fulfilling my role at home, but I'm trying to go outside of the home to make money. And so I feel like God was telling me, seek God first, seek your husband second, your kids third, and everything else will be added unto you. The money you want, the lifestyle you want, support your husband, and I will bless him so that he can give you the lifestyle that you want without you having to work so hard trying to go against me, trying to go against, what I called you to do. And so I was like, okay, like just be at home, like do nothing, like just take care of these kids. Like, that's what you want me to do. It's just, I don't know, when you live in a society where a one income household is not the norm, like it can be kind of hard, at least for me, to wrap my head around, one income. And it was, I don't know, I'm still going through the motions with that. But so God said, okay, spend time with me on a regular basis, focus on yourself, focus on going to the gym, doing the things that you want to do for yourself, and focus on your husband. How can you be a better helper to him? So making his lunch, praying for him more. I wasn't really praying for, I pray for him sometimes, but not like on a regular basis. um, Tending to the house. It sounds so like old school, like cook and clean and take care of the kids, but I think that's what God wants me to do, like women, I think in general. And he's like, maybe if your household's in order, then maybe you can go work outside of the home. But if your house isn't in like top shape, like you don't need to go work for somebody else when you can work for your husband or work for your household. And then I always like little random careers pop in my head, like, oh, maybe I can be a notary. Like they seem to have really good hours and flexibility. Or maybe I can be a what's it called, virtual assistant. Maybe I can be a bookkeeper. And my husband wants to start a business. And so I feel like God keeps saying, baby's calling me again. These kids are spoiled. It's so funny. He called me because he's watching YouTube and an ad popped up, and he wants me to skip through the ads. Back in my day, we had to watch commercials. But anyway, so I feel like back to the career changes. God's like, okay, learn to be a bookkeeper for your husband in the business he's trying to start. Learn how to be his administrative assistant. Like support him. Like, that's what I put you here for. I put you here to help him, to lift him up, to pray for him, to support him. And so, well, like, what does he need? Like I said, making breakfast for him, making lunch for him, making sure the house is clean so he can come home to a clean house. And then taking care of the kids, homeschooling them, like making sure all their stuff is in order, making sure they're getting enough fruit, eating enough vegetables, and a home cooked meal every day. Like, all of these things are really important. And I feel like it's been my experience that society puts that on the back burner. Like, we give our kids cereal. Like, I mean, no shade to you, mom, but I grew up on cereal. And and it's just go to school, and it's I just don't want somebody else raising my kids, raising my family, for the most part. Like, I feel like 6 to 7 hours a day at school or in daycare, 5 days a week, is just way too much. Like, God has put me here to do that for them. So once I started to lean into that, and please, this is no shade to anybody who puts their kids in daycare or sends their kids to school, because everybody has different circumstances, different goals, different priorities. They're in different seasons of their life. I know sometimes it is necessary. This has just been my experience and my thoughts. That was the second baby that woke up. But anyway, like I was saying, I feel like there's a lot that I can do here and that I want to prioritize here before I start trying to work outside the home. And like, even in terms of like income, the biggest thing is just supporting him in business. Like, so we plan to start a landscaping business together. So that way, like, he's the one that primarily does all the work, and I can just kind of help fill in when I'm able to. And I feel like really I just need something that I can do around the kids' schedule, my husband's schedule, managing the household. So helping with building that as best I can. I feel like if I support him, then it's my expectation that the business will 10x in a way that it wouldn't if he didn't have that support. I feel like if he was doing his own thing and I was doing my own thing, before we really had the foundation set like in our home, then I feel like our attention will be divided. But I want our both of our attention to be geared towards one goal, building something together and leaving a legacy for our family together. So that has essentially been my journey to being a stay-at-home mom, just really trying to just focus on, like I said, my household first, focus on my husband first. And that has brought me a lot of peace ever since I let go the desire to want to bring in additional money. I mean, the desire is still there, but knowing that I'm not sacrificing my family at all to make that happen. Like YouTube is one way where I, can express myself and, hopefully be able to monetize down the road. But it's something that I can literally do when the kids are napping. As you as you can see, I started when they were napping, but now they're awake. But I just really want something that I can do on my own terms, around my schedule, and with the priority of putting my husband and God and my kids first and making sure everything's straight with them. I feel like I'm going in circles now, but basically that has been my journey to becoming a stay-at-home mom. Like I said, I've experienced a lot of peace so far. It just feels like now I'm really doing what I'm supposed to be doing. It feels good to build something together. I finally started doing a family budget, like I'm meal planning better. I just feel like overall it's just been better for our household. I'll pretty much wrap this up here because, like I said, I feel like I'm going in circles, but I hope that you got something from this video. If you feel like God is calling you to be a stay-at-home mom, then stay tuned for part 2 of this video where I will go into some more practical steps to take to kind of make your decision. Thank you for watching till the end, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.